All right, so I wanted to give you guys a tour of the exterior, mostly the porches and then the bad stuff that's going on in the back of this house. But first, let's take a look at this beautiful painting that my wife did. So we worked really hard this week, scraping paint, getting this ready. And so this was a test, but we're pretty happy with it. So we think the colors are pretty much going to come out like this. Now, if you can see here, we're going to be doing red on all the interiors of these windows because they were originally this red color, this deep burgundy color. And then it was painted green and then it was painted white. But this was the original color. So we're going to do that around all of the windows. But we worked really hard scraping and disposing of all the paint on the exterior of this house. We didn't get it all, but we got a lot of it. And believe me, that is hard work. I wanted to show you guys this side porch. It's so beautiful, so shady, so secluded. It's going to be a great place to sit in a swing and relax. This screen porch, which not much screen left, but we will put new screen on this. But this was probably done in the 40s. And so we'll shore up this framing and put new screen on this. But I wanted you to take a look at this old vinyl rug. You can see some of the beautiful flower work here, and there is some damage on this, but I think we're going to do our best to restore this. Wouldn't that be fun? Got to remove the door that goes to the master bathroom. We don't need that there anymore. And we're going to put a new screen door here, and it will lead down to our private garden around the corner. So this is going to be heaven on earth right here. Now this side of the porch is where we had the fire. I don't know if you saw the video that Laine did on the fire. They did catch it pretty quickly, but we have a little bit of damage here from that. We'll just have to replace some of that wood. But this whole area was the Powder Puff Beauty Salon in the 50s. And we've got letters and cards from the Powder Puff Beauty Salon. And so we wanted to bring it back to its original instead of leaving the salon here. So we demoed all of that out, which was a lot of work. And there was a bathroom in the back of that we had to demo out as well. But you can see the paint over here has been well protected because it is basically indoor for the last 70 years. So this we won't have to scrape as much. We'll just be able to lightly sand and paint that. We've got a little bit of trim back here that we've got to do, but for the most part, this is in really good shape. The beadboard is still in really good shape. We've got to bring back our ornamental fretwork that goes at the top of these columns. And all of the balusters and railings, we're going to have milled. We're working with Covenant Millworks to have that done. But this will all be enclosed, and we'll put a beautiful swing over here, and you'll definitely want to be over here.
Louise's poor front porch looks like it's in absolutely awful condition, and most people would think it was a tear down, but not us. We know that underneath this sad little sagging roof is really some pretty firm structure. Just the edges of her rafters need to be repaired, and there's one small spot of leak. But this is a flat rubber and tar roof, so we can patch that spot, shear up those rafters, add some new supports to the edges, and once we get new fascia on there, you'll never know the difference. She's going to look like brand new. This angle gives us a good idea of the enormity of Louise. You know from the front that she's big, but it's not till you're back here and you see these L's that you get an idea of just how huge she actually is. It's a pretty overwhelming project on some days. So this is the one place when I look at Louise that even I get overwhelmed. This area looks terrifying. The truth is, it's not really any worse than any of the rest of the house. It just looks that way. This is the back of the house, which originally had a 3/4 porch all the way around, a wraparound porch back here that each of the rooms could exit onto. And that's what we're going to be putting back. But in the 1950s, they added a covered porch, which eventually turned into a kitchen. That's where all the problems came from. You can see up in this corner and up in this corner, it created the perfect storm where rainwater came, it puddled in those corners, and then it ran down into the structure of the house. And you can see here what that 70 years worth of puddling created. I want you to look inside this coat. This looks and feels like a huge 10 by 10 heart pine post that's pegged in. It looks like it's a great piece, but look at the inside. This is what happens when you have 100 years worth of water intrusion. It's weakened the heart pine and allowed the termites to get in here and just eat away. And that's what's happened to this whole seal beam, all the way from there, all the way around to under the butler's pantry area in the kitchen. So you can see these bright red jacks. That is what our construction foreman, Bill Cooper, is using to slowly lift Louise back up to plumb. As I said in the inside video, we can't do it quickly. If something takes 60 or 70 years to settle, you can't raise it back up in 6 or 7 hours. That's going to cause a lot more structural damage. So we're going to take a few weeks and slowly raise the structure back up to plumb. Then we'll put some more footings and some more piers right here, get her a new seal put in, and her structure will be as good as new. That's the thing that people forget when they look at these old homes, is that if it was put there in the first place, it can be put back again. There's absolutely no reason to tear down a house because you have an issue like this. It looks enormous. It looks terrifying. It's easy to fix, believe it or not. It can be fixed. It can be repaired, and Louise will be as strong as she was the day she was built. There's something else back here that's both fun and terrifying that I want you to see. And it's this big pile of red dirt, which doesn't look interesting at all right now. But last week, it was a 28-foot deep 4x4 hole in the ground. When the roofing crew was here, they were driving their lift in this area, and that lift opened up what was the original well. We know it's the well and not the outhouse because this is the original detached kitchen. Just to the left of it, if you're facing the house, they would not have put the outhouse right by the kitchen, and obviously you would have needed the well and the pump right next to the kitchen where food prep was going to be. So that well opened up. It is dry as a bone at the bottom, so we weren't going to use it as a well anymore. So we filled it up, and it took 6 truckloads, dump truckloads full of dirt to fill this hole. This space back here is going to be a beautiful space. We're going to have a wraparound deck. We're going to have a courtyard. We're going to have a fountain. But right now, this space is kind of a nightmare. Something interesting to look at. I don't know if we've talked about this in any of the other videos. We talk about this being the oldest part of the house, and we know it's the oldest part of the house. The oldest part of people are always like, how do you know? How do you know it's any different? It's because all of these beams are hand hewn. If you look here, you can actually see the hatch marks from the original axe or adze that was used to form these beams. There are no sawmill marks on any of these beams, and that's true up underneath the house and in every section of this part of the house. And you have huge pegs used to put these beams together. So lots of fun architecture in this part of the house.
Imagine, if you will, a secret garden that leads from the back corner of Louise, pathway that winds back, nice sitting area, maybe a beautiful fountain. The lot on Louise is a little bit awkward. We've got this big square here, and then a kind of a square off to the side, but we're going to make us a beautiful hidden garden over here. There's our one storage shed where we sometimes find great things. But for the most part, this is just all grown up. But don't tell anybody, it's a secret.